What's going on, noobs? Welcome to another exciting Noob News. Today's actually a bit of a big one, and it's not just because we haven't had an update on the League of Noobs and myself in a long time. It's because, well, there's just a lot to talk about. So much so, in fact, that I've actually provided an outline for myself, so if you see me glancing down real quick, it's because that's where my outline is, and I want to make sure I'm covering all of the important topics of the day. To start, let's go with some positive stuff. First off, at the time of this recording, the League of Noobs has grown to over 8,000. How amazing is that? Like, truly, it's incredible, and I'm very... Even though that by YouTube and internet numbers, that's still not a lot, I am truly humbled by that, and it means a lot to me. So, thank you. And also thank you to the nearly 1,000 members of the Twitch League of Noobs. It's huge. Especially when I think about where both the Twitch channel and the YouTube channel were only like 2 years ago. It's been a crazy ride so far. So thank you for that, and welcome to all of the noobs who have not been here since the first Noob News, or the previous Noob News, as it were. Anywho, another bit of news is that some of you have come to me, and this is something I've been thinking about for a long time. I am going to be moving the... Also, if you can hear that, pay no attention. That's just my dogs trying to kill themselves through love and play. Anywho, I'm going to finally start moving, or I should say, the daily uploads of the stream footage is finally going to be moved to a separate channel. The channel is going to be I was very creative when I came up with this name. I hope you enjoy it. It's called the Perpetual Noob Stream Archive. Because, like I said, I was very creative. Anywho, that's where that's all going to be going in the next couple of weeks. And I say in the next couple of weeks because there are still going to be some daily stream uploads happening on the Perpetual Noob channel, because I don't have infinite hard drive space and I can't move videos from one channel to another on YouTube, and there are already daily stream uploads uploaded to YouTube or uploaded to Perpetual Noob to go up on the appropriate days, and so on and so forth. So, starting in early April, there will be no more stream uploads, daily stream uploads to Perpetual Noob. They will now all be going to the Perpetual Noob Stream Archive. Now, all of the daily stream uploads that are on Perpetual Noob right now will start to disappear. They will disappear from the videos list anyway, but you'll be able to watch them still through the streams playlist. So by the time uploads start happening on the Perpetual Noob Stream Archive channel, there will be no more stream uploads in the videos list. You will have to go to the streams playlist to watch anymore if you wish to catch up. So that's going to be happening in the next couple of weeks. I really struggled with doing that and making that move. Essentially because I am beholden to the YouTube algorithm, whatever that eldritch horror happens to be. So I didn't want to split the channel per se, mainly because I don't know how the YouTube algorithm works. Nobody knows how the YouTube algorithm works, except for maybe like the two robots at YouTube who wrote it. But I figured having daily uploads would be safer for the channel in general and help the channel get more exposure on YouTube. But I have started to hear complaints about the fact that the channel is now essentially inundated with stream uploads, and many, again, a lot of what I'm saying here isn't directed to all of you. I know that it's not 100% of you. And so, like, if you're not resonating with what I'm saying right now, please realize that then this is not for you. I'm not talking to you right now. But I do know that it's come to my attention that people are getting kind of sick and tired of the daily stream uploads, being on a channel that predominantly has grown due to highly scripted, highly edited, in-depth content, the Hollow Knight boss guides. So now that it's kind of come to that point, I'm going to finally just bite the bullet, and we'll see what happens. Who knows? Maybe this move won't be bad. Maybe YouTube won't actually completely tank the channel from new people ever finding it. We can only hope at this point, especially because, again, I am beholden to the YouTube algorithm because I'm beholden to ad revenue. Again, that's a thing I would like to never be beholden to, so I could, just never run ads again. But as in a related note, there will be, for now, there will be an increase in the ads played, even on the guides. I've taken a look around the rest of YouTube and taken a look at other channels, other larger channels. I mean, excessively larger channels, like 1 million+ subscriber channels, and their gaming content and their videos and whatnot, and seen that I'm not apparently putting in nearly enough ads into my videos. Like, they put up like 15-minute videos, and there's 2 or 3+ ads in those videos, and they have 1 million subscribers. So, like, views shouldn't be a problem for them. So yeah, essentially to try to keep up with the rat race. And I guess that's even crazier to think about is some of these channels I'm thinking about, and I'm not going to call them out here because I don't want to, I'm not trying to shame any channel. I understand why they're running so many ads. I'm kind of shaming myself here for not, I guess, keeping up with that trend. Because I don't want to if I could really avoid it. Because, again, I find ads to be a necessary evil of the internet right now, and I'd rather never have to use such a necessary evil, but I kind of do. Anyway, if you were thinking this was going to be a short video, I am sorry, because that's not what's happening here. There is a lot to talk about, and a lot that I kind of want to, I guess, in a sense, get off my chest in a way to explain some of the stuff that you don't see. YouTube content creators, artists, many creatives will know what I'm talking about. But if you're not doing that sort of thing, if you're not in this particular realm, you may not know. You may not know what's going on or what happens off camera or outside of all the work that goes into the videos and whatnot. So there's just a lot that I feel like I need to talk about finally. Either way, yes, you'll start seeing more ads on the guides. Because again, I'm kind of beholden to that, and that ties into the next piece of news that I have, and this one's fairly big as well. In about 2 weeks from the recording of this video, well, I guess technically not, now in about just a week or so, a little bit more than a week, whatever, starting April 1st, I am starting a part-time job. Now, obviously that's not really like, whoa, big, like for many, that's not huge news, because like, well, geez, what the heck have you been doing? And for the last few years, I've been very fortunate that Madam Noob has been able to essentially support the two of us. Sadly, that was from a dwindling or a diminishing returns kind of perspective. So now we're kind of getting to the point where that isn't possible. And So I will be starting a part-time job on April 1st. That's going to be taking up about 35 hours of my waking time. But it should help, it's going to kind of, as far as time is concerned, it's going to replace a fair bit of my house spouse and dog parent and life in general responsibilities. It's not going to completely remove them, obviously. I can't just have this job and not help out around the house, not spend time with my family. But as far as guide production, as far as streaming is concerned, I'm not entirely sure what this is going to do. I think the biggest thing is it's going to shift my streaming to be on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. So really the biggest change would just be from Thursday to Friday. As I continue to strive for partnership with Twitch. And then, as far as guide production goes, I'm not going to stop ever. Never going to stop doing this. I'm not quite sure yet how much of an impact it's going to have. That's still yet to be determined. But I know I do expect it's going to slow me down a bit, because obviously that's a lot of time. It's obviously work, so I'm going to be kind of tired from it. But it's not going to stop me from continuing to produce guides. It just might slow down slow down even further how often they come out. So yeah. And a bit of, I kind of want to talk about this too, that I'm taking this part-time job because before I go on, I don't want, this isn't a discussion to shame or guilt any of you or anyone in particular. This is, again, I just want to share the facts of what is going on as far as the YouTube channel and me and how it all relates. Which, again, with the backdrop of the dogs trying to kill each other playfully is really, really killing the mood. I won't lie. It's kind of it's kind of making it tricky to be, serious about this. But anyway, if you've been on my streams, you've heard this before. You can't really stop it. This is just what they do. But anyway, on to the more serious aspects of this conversation. Between YouTube ad revenue, Twitch with subscriptions, bits, tips, and Patreon, with all of that, I am bringing in, before paying any taxes, there are no taxes taken out of what I receive from YouTube, Twitch, Patreon. Without paying, there are no health benefits provided through any of those platforms. Those are all things I have to pay for myself, or we have to pay for ourselves. Essentially, so before taxes, before covering living expenses, before everything, I am bringing in about $160 a month. You can look, the average rate for ad revenue is about 1,000 views to every $1. So you can look at a video, and when you see that a video has 1 million views, you can estimate that video has brought in about $1,000. if ads are running on it. So you can look at YouTube videos, you can look at YouTubers and you can see like this video has 500 views. That's about 50 cents. Give or take, depending on the percentage of people who use ad blocker when they are perusing YouTube. And if you do, I don't blame you. Again, ads are dumb. I don't like them. I'd rather not use them at all. And I'm also not really, like, I'm not complaining about what I'm bringing in, because it's literally infinitely times better than where the channel was 2 years ago before I started making Hollow Knight boss guides. Before then, I was bringing in 0. So the fact that I can say now that each month I'm bringing about $160 in from all of this is huge, and it's incredible. And I pretty much started crying just the first time that I had a consistent 2-month income, as it were, because it's huge progress. It's just, even as an individual, if I didn't have Madam Noob, if I didn't have the dogs, I still couldn't live off of that. So this part-time job is going to help. And I know that that's kind of the inverse of what a lot of YouTubers and Twitch streamers do, is that usually they have a full-time job and then they get into YouTubing and streaming, and eventually, if they're lucky, build up and up to the point where they can leave that full-time job and fully pursue, the streaming, the content creation and all that. So I know that I went in kind of the opposite direction, and that was just a way that life kind of worked out for me, is that I could attempt that. So now I've got to go, in a sense, backwards, and I've got to start an office job, which I had hoped I wouldn't have to ever do that again, because my previous office job that I'd had for nearly a decade money was great, but it was soul-crushing work. I got to a pretty dark place with that job, and so I really wasn't ever trying to get back. And thankfully this particular job is nowhere within the same industry. It's not even really, it's a job I can actually just leave at work. There will never be a time where I ever bring my work laptop home and have to keep going and have to keep working. There will never be any of that. It's a very small company, so I'm not a single number within an international conglomerate machine. So as far as the mental toll, it should be much less, which is kind of one of the reasons why I'm going to be taking this job. I think it should be less soul crushing. But the other side of it is it pays more than 10 times per month what I'm currently making. Which that's good. That will help me contribute to my family's finances, actually have an impact on my family's finances and be a positive impact. So that's what's happening in that sphere of my life. As I have said, though, I'm not stopping. I will not stop creating. I will not stop making boss guides. I will not stop trying to be a positive force within the world of gaming. I know that I'm not the only one, thank God, but I'm not going to stop adding my voice to being to the positivity, the seemingly minority of positivity that exists within the gaming sphere. I will not stop that. So there will be more guides. The guides will keep coming. At this point, there probably was essentially a delay, essentially nothing coming out in March. Mainly because I decided to do a whole bunch of guides a whole bunch of projects, I should say, at the same time. Specifically 4 different projects all at the same time. Turns out multitasking for those I'm not great at that. It apparently becomes very difficult to really get a single project done in any sort of time when you're trying to get all 4 projects done in a month. And each one of them will take a month. Who knew? Who knew? So, what's coming up though? I do want to end, on a positive note, obviously, because a lot of that got kind of subdued and somber and a little dark. Is that there is something coming on April Fool's. There will be, and it's just for fun. It's something I've wanted to do for years now, that I finally took some time to really dedicate to it, to get it together. And you know what? It's going to just be fun for April Fool's. Sadly, I will recommend you run ad blocker on it because it's already been copyright claimed. So if that video, I don't know if that video will go viral or not. I don't think it will, due to its content, but it is fun. But if it went viral, sadly, none of that ad revenue would come to me, because it's already been claimed by others. Whoops. But I hope you all enjoy it. I had a lot of fun putting it together. There's also my in-depth Silk Song analysis, trailer analysis, that's still being put together. And by in-depth, I mean, yeah, I'm essentially going frame by frame and looking at everything and trying to find the themes and the synergies and anything that could be talked about in this video. That analysis coming is, I've been saying this, I think, on the Discord as well, is probably going to be about an hour long. Because I'm not done with the first scene, and it's already 4 pages worth of dialogue. So, also, I have, of course, the first Pantheon guide coming. That is still in development. I would say I'm probably about 35 to 40% done with that already, because I've been working on that. And of course, there will be a Pantheon 2, 3, 4, and 5 guides as well. I know some of you have asked for a guide about the Eternal Ordeal as well, maybe, especially if Silk Song comes out late enough. Essentially, my main priority now is to get the Pantheon guides done, and then try to get a couple other guides together. There's another one that is in the works, and it is a White Palace guide. So that's going to be an area guide coming, that is already in the works, and I would say even further along than the Pantheon 1 guide, but due to schedules and whatnot, I think that's going to shift, and I'm going to try to get the Pantheon 1 guide out sooner than that. With Silk Song analysis, trailer analysis becoming as big as it is, that may also come out after the Pantheon 1 guide. Do not hold me to that. I'm trying to get all of these things out as quickly as I can, because I've started them all, and why not try to finish them all as quickly as possible. But those are the current projects currently in my queue. Now, I know that some have also asked about guides for other games, and why, yes, I would love to do that. And you know this if you've seen any of the other Noob Noos, whatever. If you've seen any of the other real talk discussions I've had, you know that that's a thing I do want to get done, and I would love to start moving into other games. The intention is still there. I would still love to get into other games. When? I don't know. A couple of you have asked and have been helpful in taking some of the work for some of these guides, certainly in the more recent past. And I greatly appreciate that help. That probably is. That if you can hear that barking, that's probably someone walking their dog or someone with a baby stroller. But Peggy is very determined to keep our house safe. I do appreciate all of the offers of help that some of you have given, and I am trying to get better at accepting that. Like one of the biggest hangups I've had about asking for help or bringing in others to help me is the fact that I don't want to take your time for free. I'd love to be able to pay you, but I kind of can't at the moment. So I greatly resist asking for help right now or accepting help. And I'm trying to get better about that. I am trying to get better at understanding that, some of you, those of you who have offered are offering to do so for free because you want to help. And I am trying to do better about that. And obviously you can see that when I'm unscripted, I repeat things a lot. Or if I'm unscripted and streaming, I forget things a lot. So I'm trying to get better about that, especially because of all the things that I've got going on that I'm trying to put together. Having help is wonderful. And going forward, I'm gonna be better about that and figuring out ways that those of you who wish to can help. I was always early on when I was first putting all of these guides together, I had no idea how. If someone came to me and was like, "Hey, what can I do to help?" I always came back with, "I don't know." Everything in my head, I was just like, everything needs to be done by me. I'm the only one who understands what I'm trying to do here. It's my art. And I'm finally starting to figure out, oh wait, no. I don't need to do this. Someone else can do this. Like it doesn't have to be exactly me who touches this. I must not be the only one to touch this work of art. Which, I think will help in the coming months, especially as I transition to this part-time job and start figuring out how the routine of my life changes. And who knows? I do pretty well with routine, so maybe this part-time job is exactly what I need. Is it'll give me a rigid schedule to adhere to, which will help me really work out exactly how and when I can work on the guides and be even more effective and efficient with my time. That's kind of what I'm hoping for. And at this point, I don't have a timer in front of me. I've probably rambled for like an hour and a half. I don't know. I again don't have a timer in front of me, so no idea. But if you are still here at the end of this, thank you. Thank you for listening to all of that. Now, if you're here because you skipped the last minute or so, shame on you, and how dare you skip such important messages. I am, of course, kidding. There's very, very little that I am serious about. Now, obviously, if you go to the Discord and you see the rules, I am very serious about those. If you go to my Twitch chat rules, I'm very serious about those. But outside of that, no, I'm pretty not very serious. And obviously you can see I used a bit of humor at the end of that because I was getting a bit too sincere, I suppose. But yeah, if you have listened to this entire video and watched it, thank you. I know that was a lot, and I feel a little better about sharing a bit more of the reality of what I am going through. And I appreciate you all sticking it out, I guess, hanging with me through all of that. Because, that's not, I don't, certainly from my boss guide content, I'm not going to be discussing any of this in there because none of it is relevant. There are 3 syllables in that word. And you could see I had to count that. And when I'm streaming, I want it to be a happy experience. I want everybody to be able to come hang out and just have fun and feel a little bit better. So, yeah, I don't talk about this sort of stuff too much. I got into it a little bit with the Discord server, and that really prompted me to realize that no, I should probably talk about this for real. I should talk about this, let you see me, hear me talk about it. So yeah, that's the news for the noobs. Thank you so much for joining me today, noobs. I am your host, Perpetual Noob. And yeah, I'll see you all next time. Take care, noobs.